Are you able to see screen?
Yes, sir.
Good. So yesterday, just I am going to take a quick review. Yesterday, what we have seen, that the total strain energy or maximum strain energy theory, in which we have calculated the strain energy from the equation, that is from the principal stress equation, sigma 1 and sigma 2. Out of that, again, we are going to consider the biaxial stresses. That's why sigma 3 we are going to consider as a 0. Hence, epsilon 3, that is the strain in that direction, that is third direction, that we are not going to consider. We are going to consider it as a 0. So just we are going to calculate strain energy per unit volume in 2 dimensions, epsilon 1 and 2. And later on, we are going to compare it with the strain energy, which we are going to calculate from the tensile test, which we can carry it out on UTM. And this we are going to compare with the strain energy, which we are going to calculate from the tensile test, that is half of the sigma y into epsilon y. Okay, so here we are going to get this ellipse, because the equation which we are going to get is the equation of ellipse, and from that we are going to get this equation of ellipse and this type of curve which we are going to get. If you are later on, we will compare it with the second theory, that is the maximum shear stress theory. Already I have told you that first and second theory, they are normally used for the practical applications. Like first theory is used for brittle materials and second theory is used for ductile materials. And third, fourth theory, that is nothing but the third theory, maximum strain energy, strain theory. That theory is not actually practicable and cannot be implemented, that we have seen, because we are going to get that kite-like structure. Okay, and in which the points are going away, which are not in safe region. Practically, we can verify it. And this theory, that is the maximum strain energy theory, this is quite near to the second theory, and hence it can be implemented. Now, next theory is maximum distortion energy theory. Now, this strain energy, which we are going to, or already we have calculated strain energy. That strain energy is again, we are going to say the distortion energy. That is when material gets break at that time, or when material changes its shape. Distortion means in case of ductile material, when material changes its shape, that is we are going to call as a distortion. And when it gets break in case of brittle material, that we are going to say as a distortion. So maximum distortion energy per unit volume for what we can say the theory from principal stresses, which we can calculate from Moore's circle. If it gets exceed, then the distortion energy per unit volume at the yield point under the tensile test. Okay, that is which we are going to conduct with the UTM. This part is conducted by means of UTM in uniaxial loading. Always we are going to compare the energy, that theoretical stress or strain or energy. Here in this case, we are going to consider distortion energy. So this distortion energy is compared with the distortion energy which we are going to conduct or calculate by means of the tensile test. Okay. In case of tensile test, only uniaxial load is applied. And in case of this theoretical, while we are going to calculate the distortion energy, this biaxial stress we are going to consider. Okay, that is in X and Y direction. So first of all, when we are going to calculate the uniaxial distortion energy from the what we can say tensile test, and if we are going to compare it with the theoretical one, then we can say or we'll check how the graph will be by means of that equation, and then we'll decide whether this theory is quite suitable, applicable or not, or it is like third theory which we have seen, which is practically not implemented. Just we have to study it, and just we have to check how that equations are behaving, and whether they can be implemented. Okay, so for the safe condition, we can say that the actual loading, this is actual loading. This actual, in case of actual loading, the distortion energy, that is maximum distortion energy per unit volume, should not exceed than the distortion energy which we are going to calculate with the tensile test. Okay, so how this energy, total strain energy, is calculated, that we have calculated for the previous theory, that is nothing but 1 over 2E into sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square minus mu into sigma 1 into sigma 2 plus sigma 2 into sigma 3 plus sigma 3 into sigma 1, in which for biaxial we are going to take this sigma 3 as a 0. Okay, and whatever may be the equation which we are going to get, that equation will be for the strain energy per unit volume. We have calculated it for the previous theory. Now you may ask that why strain energy, already we have seen maximum strain energy theory. Then in distortion energy theory, why it is required to calculate this strain energy? Because we are going to calculate this strain energy and distortion energy. Distortion energy is calculated from the strain energy itself. Okay, because when we are going to say total energy is equal to distortion energy plus strain energy, because what we are going to get, let me clear it, total energy in the material is equal to strain energy. That means up to the yield point, what we are going to get is the strain energy plus distortion energy. That is nothing but when material get destroyed. In case of ductile material, it gets or it changes its shape, and in case of brittle material, it gets break. Getting me? That will be the, because energy which is required to create the strain inside that material plus energy which is required to break that material, that total energy is going to become this value. So how we can calculate the distortion energy? That can be calculated as total energy minus strain energy. So this total energy in that material minus strain energy, that will be the distortion energy. म्हणजे कुठलंही मटेरियल ब्रेक करण्यासाठी जी एनर्जी वापरली जाते त्याला आपण डिस्टॉर्शन एनर्जी म्हणू. ब्रेक म्हणजे काय, इन केस ऑफ डक्टाईल आपण म्हणतो की ज्या वेळेला ते प्लॅस्टिक मोड मध्ये जातं त्यावेळेला ते ब्रेक झालं असं समजतो आपण, आणि ब्रिटल मटेरियल मध्ये काय होतं, दोन पार्ट मध्ये डिवाइड होतं ते. सो ती जी एनर्जी आहे म्हणजे मटेरियलला ब्रेक करण्यासाठी लागणारी एनर्जी, ती एनर्जी प्लस त्याच्यामध्ये, कारण जोपर्यंत मटेरियल ब्रेक होत नाही तोपर्यंत एक्सटर्नल फोर्सला ते अपोज करतात, त्याच्यामध्ये स्ट्रेन वाढत जाते. ओके, ती एनर्जी आहे त्याची. इफ वी आर गोइंग टू रिलीज द लोड, त्या स्ट्रेन एनर्जी अगेन रिसाइज दॅट कंपोनंट, म्हणजे ते कंपोनंट आहे त्या पोझिशनला किंवा आहे त्या डायमेन्शन्सला परत येतो. पण त्याच्यापेक्षा जर जास्त आणलं आपण तर तो डायमेन्शन्स मध्ये येत नाही, म्हणजे ते डिस्ट्रॉय झाला. राईट. टोटल एनर्जी इज इक्वल टू ही स्ट्रेन एनर्जी, जे मटेरियल अपोज करतं बाहेरच्या फोर्सला, ज्याच्यामुळे तयार झालेला स्ट्रेस आहे त्याला अपोजिशन आहे ते बाहेरच्या फोर्सला, स्ट्रेस म्हणजे. तर तो स्ट्रेस आहे तो जनरेट करतो स्ट्रेन, ती स्ट्रेन एनर्जी प्लस नंतर तुटण्यासाठी जी लागणार आहे ती एनर्जी, हे सगळ्याचं मिळून होणार आहे आपली टोटल एनर्जी. डायरेक्टली आपण डिस्टॉर्शन एनर्जी अशी कॅल्क्युलेट करण्यासाठी कुठला फॉर्म्युला नाहीये, मग आपल्याला स्ट्रेन एनर्जी कॅल्क्युलेट करता येते. फॉर प्रिव्हियस theory we have seen what is the strain energy. It is the average stress multiplied by strain, that is the strain energy, right? 1/2 sigma y into epsilon y. Epsilon y means the strain at the time of yield point, and sigma y means stress at the time of yield point for the tensile test, right? मग ती कॅल्क्युलेट करू शकतो. टोटल एनर्जी पण कॅल्क्युलेट करू शकतो आपण. टोटल एनर्जी प्रेझेंट इन द मटेरियल. So just subtract the strain energy from the total energy. That will be the distortion energy. Okay. So that we are going to do. So the volumetric strain energy is equal to half of the average stress into volumetric strain. That is epsilon y sigma y. So while in case of formulae, how we are going to calculate it? Half of the sigma 1 plus sigma 2 plus sigma 3 divided by 3. That is average we are going to take. Into bracket 1 minus 2 mu over E into epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2, sorry, sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. Okay. That is the volumetric strain energy. Now when volumetric strain energy is calculated, we can take this sigma 1, 2, 3 common. Okay. So it will become square of that. This 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. And this 1 minus 2 mu. Okay. So this volumetric strain energy per unit volume is equal to 1 minus 2 mu divided by 6E. Okay. So this distortion energy that we are going to subtract the previous strain energy which we have calculated with previous equation. This equation. So we can call it as equation number 1. This is the strain energy. If you subtract this energy from the total energy, that is this total energy which we have calculated, subtract equation 1 from 2, we will get distortion energy by this theoretical concept, where again we can put this sigma 3 as a 0 for 2-dimensional condition. This equation will become 1 plus mu divided by 6E into bracket sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 1 square. Okay. Here minus sign is there, but while taking square, we are going to get this plus only. Okay. For 2-dimension. And this equation we have to compare with the equation which we are going to get from the tensile test. Okay. And from the above equation, this is also equation which we are going to get as a ellipse equation. And we are not having much more difference, just this area has elaborated. In case of maximum strain energy, just this area has elaborated, this much area. Remaining part is the same as in case of maximum strain energy theory. This theory is also called as one mesh stress theory, because the one mesh was the Australian scientist who has discovered this theory. That means just he has compared the equations. Okay, that results which he has got, he has plotted on the graph. And after conduction of experimentation, it comes to know that failure is occurring nearby areas of this curve. And this theory is quite suitable for ductile as well as brittle material too. So in this case, as compared these 5 theories, only first 2 theories which are simple to understand as well as simple to implementation also. So first 2 theories are giving good results. Okay, good. That means appropriate results which we can use in actual practice. So just we have to keep in mind that first has to be used for brittle, second has to be used for the ductile material. Later on, all these theories are giving quite similar, except that maximum strain theory. Okay, all these 4 theories remaining that means two theories, that is maximum strain energy theory and distortion energy theory, that is Horn mesh theory. These are going to give us similar results as the second theory. Okay, only thing is that in second theory we are going to get hexagon shape, and in case of maximum strain energy theory we are going to get elliptical shape, whereas in distortion energy theory also we are going to get elliptical shape. Okay, but region which is covered by that shapes are similar. So here we can compare. Just a minute. Here we can compare that second theory, that is the maximum shear stress theory, with the remaining two, that is one mesh and maximum strain energy theory. So this dotted line is indicating maximum shear stress theory, and this ellipse is indicating that one mesh theory. Okay, that is last theory, distortion energy theory. And in actual practice, if we conduct experimentation, then we get that the failures are occurring, failure of material is occurring nearby areas of this ellipse. So can we say that if the failure is occurring at nearby areas of the ellipse, त्या ellipseच्या पेरिफेरीवर काय पॉइंट आपल्याला पेरिफेरीवर मिळतात, याच्या काय पॉइंट त्याच्या पाठीमाग पुढे थोडे बहुत मिळतात की जिथे ते मटेरियल फेल होईल, म्हणजे तुम्ही सिग्मा 1 आणि सिग्मा 2 जसा अप्लाय करता तुम्ही त्या कॉम्बिनेशन मध्ये बायएक्सियल स्ट्रेसेस मध्ये, त्याच्यानुसार आपल्याला हे फेल्युअर पॉइंट मिळाले. ओके, म्हणजे सिग्मा 1 प्लस आहे, सिग्मा 2 पण प्लस आहे. इकडे असेल इथे जर फेल्युअर ऑकर झालं तर सिग्मा 2 इज पॉझिटिव्ह, सिग्मा 1 इज निगेटिव्ह, म्हणजे कॉम्प्रेशन. ओके, इथं काय असेल, सिग्मा 1 and 2 आर कॉम्प्रेशन. ओके, दॅट इज इन निगेटिव्ह साइड. जे फेल्युअर, ते जे क्रॉस दाखवलेत ते फेल्युअर पॉइंट आहेत. ओके, so what you can conclude from this particular diagram, for better, that means if we use maximum shear stress theory instead of this one mesh theory, that is nothing but distortion energy theory, can we conclude something, or what will be your conclusion? Can anybody comment on this? Let me clear my question once again. आता हे जे दोन थिअरीज आहेत, एक आहे मॅक्सिमम शिअर स्ट्रेस थिअरी, जी डॉटेड लाईन ने हेक्झागॉन दाखवलाय, त्याच्या आतमध्ये सगळे पॉइंट पाहिजेत तर ते लोडिंग कंडिशन सेफ आहे असं ती मॅक्सिमम शिअर स्ट्रेस थिअरी म्हणते. ऑन मेश काय म्हणतो की ह्या इलिप्स मध्ये जे पॉइंट आहेत आतमधले, तसं जर लोडिंग कंडिशन ना आले तुमच्या पॉइंट तर ते सेफ आहे असं ऑन मेश किंवा डिस्टॉर्शन एनर्जी थिअरी म्हणते. ओके, मग मी जर समजा फक्त मॅक्सिमम शिअर स्ट्रेस थिअरी वापरली तर काय होईल? Somebody is writing to us. Maximum shear stress theory is good, right? Okay, anybody else?
It is totally
is saying that maximum shear stress theory is good. Yes.
It is totally safe.
Pardon? I'm not listening you properly.
It is totally safe.
It is totally safe. अजून कोण? आणखी कोणाची कॉमेंट आहे? Write in comment box. What is your opinion? Have you got my question? माझा क्वेश्चन समजलाय सगळ्यांना? माझा क्वेश्चन हा आहे की मॅक्सिमम शिअर स्ट्रेस थिअरी आणि वॉन मेश थिअरी, दॅट इज नथिंग बट डिस्टॉर्शन एनर्जी थिअरी, त्या दोघांच्या मध्ये आपण हे कंपॅरिझन चालू केलंय. प्रॅक्टिकली असं समजलंय आपल्याला की त्या इलिप्सचे जे पेरिफेरी आहे त्याच्या आजूबाजूला आपल्याला फेल्युअर पॉइंट मिळत आहेत. मला वाटतंय की मॅक्झिमम शिअर स्ट्रेस थेअरी सगळ्यांना व्यवस्थित कळले आणि मी आय हॅव टेकन दिस स्ट्रेन एनर्जी थेअरी अँड डिस्टॉर्शन एनर्जी थेअरी बाय ओनली इक्वेशन्स. We are not gone in details like we have seen in details first three theories, right? Right from the forming of equation and implementing it on graph. Our study is limited up to that point only. So we have taken only equations later on because it is understood that already you have completed it in your mom subject. But in better manner, you have understood it. You can directly implement that equations and you can draw that this type of curve. So my question is that what happens if suppose we are comparing this second theory, that is maximum shear stress theory, which is more what we can say easy to understand what it means, and maximum distortion energy theory, where calculation of energy has become somewhat complicated than the shear stress calculation. Okay, I'm not saying it is very much complicated, but it is more complicated than the shear stress calculation, right? So one if avoids that distortion energy theory, and if he goes to the maximum shear stress theory, what we can conclude from this graph? Yes. Should I ask to somebody so that I can check whether everybody is listening me or just you are in the class and you are not listening anything? Sachin Sutar, will you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is your comment?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What?
Maximum shear stress theory is better, sir.
Why? Why you justify it? Why it is better? तुम्हाला का बेटर वाटते ते? सचिन,
हाँ सर.
का बेटर वाटते? Are you talking something and I'm not able to listen? Sachin? Yes. Prithvi Gore. Prithvi Gore, roll number 69.
Yes, sir.
So what is your opinion, first of all? त्या कंपॅरिझन बद्दल तुमचं काय मत आहे? पृथ्वी, unmute yourself.